So, ladies and gentlemen, our boy Echo came with a big video. He said we need to talk about this video creators for Diablo Immortal. So, I don't know if I'm gonna be involved or not, but I always like and I admire Echo's perspective on things. It's been around the block for a while, so let's go and check it out what he has to say.
Creators that make content on a fairly regular basis for Diablo Immortal.
All right.
Not like the number that we had at launch when all of the Diablo 4 creators and other action RPG creators were making content on this game thinking it was going to be insanely massive and their channels would blow up on it. They also realized the whole monetization method inside of the game and chose for themselves that they didn't want to be a part of it, so they moved on to other things. We also had content creators that stuck around in Diablo Immortal until other opportunities presented themselves, and then they decided to move on to something else. Why am I bringing all of this up today? There have recently been some videos put out regarding content creators in Diablo Immortal and talking about who's great, who's not, who does what, and who excels in what different areas.
Oh, guys, you know it. You know it is talking about your boy Indez, huh? You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. All right, let's keep going.
And I wanted to talk on this topic, not about ranking any creators or anything like that, but just about creators in general and kind of as a whole. Now, why do I feel that I'm probably one of the best creators to talk about this topic? Probably because I've been around for 9 years on YouTube.
Sheesh.
So in the 9 years, that's way
9 years, guys. 9 freaking... That's a lot of time. I've been doing, like, just to put in perspective, I have been doing this for 9 months. All right? 9 freaking months. So, big freaking respect, guys.
Beyond anything that we've done here on the Diablo Immortal channel. I've learned a ton about YouTube. I knew nothing when I started 9 years ago. By the way, tomorrow is my 9-year anniversary of YouTube. I knew nothing on day one. And now, well, let's just say I know a lot more.
Congratulations to Echo, man.
But more importantly, I've met a lot of people along the way. People that are creators like myself that do this full time and that are successful on multiple channels or even just on one, and people that want to be YouTubers but aren't willing to put in the work to do it. Literally from one level at the top tier to the people that have the dream.
Okay.
Something I want to say about the creators for Diablo Immortal. And there's a handful of them that I think are amazing, put out great content. And there's others that I think do okay content. And then there's ones that I don't even know of yet because I don't sit and search the internet for all of the Diablo Immortal creators. But no matter who they are, they're putting their time, their effort, not only into playing the game, but taking it to the next level to create content to try and help other people. To try and put guides together that can be useful for everyone that's playing the game. And really, that's how a lot of content creators begin. They realize, oh, people don't understand how these mechanics work inside of a game. Let me put out a video to explain it to my clan.
I just want to point out something important here. Whenever I did a tier list, obviously, it was from that perspective because I am also a creator. I know the effort that goes into creating the videos. And I want every single one to actually do better. That was my main intent, even if you didn't see it that way, right? That was my main intent. That was my... You already are doing so much work. You have to come up with idea. You have to record. You have to farm the game so you'll be able to do the content. And there's like so much time investment that maybe sometimes videos are just not performing just based on small details. And that's like what I was trying to give feedback on because I feel like everyone has untapped potential and everyone, including myself, can become better. And like this, I feel like if we all give like some honest feedback to each other and keep evolving, and we can actually put a lot of time and work, but still get the rewards out of like our videos getting more views, and we can actually maybe start investing more on our equipment, maybe like having an upgrade our mic, all these things that's gonna make our content and our channel evolves, and it's gonna be better for the creator, it's also gonna be better for the community, and overall for everyone in the Diablo scene.
And then that video gets 500, 1,000 views, and like, oh wow, look at that, 1,000 people saw this. Maybe I'm gonna do more. This is essentially how many people start making content. And then they just start building up a small library of how-to content that becomes useful, that people search on YouTube, and more than just their clan end up seeing it. So what I want to do first of all is give credit to all of the content creators that make content for Diablo Immortal. Everyone is out there. Now, yes, we get benefits as well, right? Like we get monetized on YouTube. If we're around long enough, we could become part of the Diablo Partner Program and get to work with Blizzard, which is cool. But everyone there, everyone that's in the Partner Program at this point in time has put in enough stable, consistent work to be recognized by Blizzard. And everyone there deserves some type of an applause, whether you like their content or not, whether you think their content is good or bad, whether they're doing educational content or fun content. It really is all just a matter of taste, which brings up another whole topic here. Educational guides are not the only way to make content for any game.
Yeah.
I know people...
That's like the major issue that I found myself whenever I'm creating content for Diablo Immortal. There is like these three strong pillars, which is like patch notes and news content that comes in. There is the builds, build guides, and there is like the in-game guides about like how to farm these, how to get that. And Diablo Immortal create like this such a strong shell around this, and it is very hard to actually break out, because sometimes you take a risk, sometimes you try to do content a bit outside of like this bubble, and then it's not gonna perform as well, because you know what, the audience may be not used to, maybe the way you presented it is not good. But either way, I feel like it is always important to try to take the risk. Like one of the reasons why I also stream is because it kind of breaks a bit outside of this bubble. I do more things than just, making the guides and making the news update. We are here, we're chatting. Also, we try to create like the interviews with the podcast, which that was also very successful. And just try to branch out. I feel like the more content and diverse content we have, the healthier it's gonna be for the Diablo Immortal community, because it's just gonna bring more value overall. But I know and I understand from a content creator perspective, I mean, you're gonna do your news videos, you're gonna still do your build guides, because you 100% know that you're gonna get views from that. But I feel like we need to keep pushing a bit the envelope. For example, one perfect example that I know, for example, audits. Sometimes it comes like with these very cinematic random video that one was like the detective that we found like this murdered in West March. I saw that and I was like, man, this was funny. It didn't get as much traction. Also, you cannot expect that as the same as a build, but I think it is good to have that thing.
From, let's say, the Clash of Clans world, they don't do educational stuff at all. It's all just fun or goofy related content. Stuff that you don't even need to know much about the game to do, and they're extremely successful doing that type of stuff. Content is not just around focused around doing something that is going to teach others something about the game. That's something we often forget, especially in games like this one, right? Diablo Immortal, we could put out guides every single day, but you know what? It gets a little boring, not only for people watching, but also for the creator themselves. Like it's fun to do some personality content or content around, having fun, or even just getting to know the creator for who they are and kind of building a relationship in some way. By the way, speaking of that, I'm actually going to be going live today The update just went live inside of the game yesterday. I had my son's birthday party, so I didn't go live yesterday, but I'll be going live today at 12 p.m. Eastern time.
All right.
The stream is already scheduled here on YouTube as well as on Twitch. Come on through. We'll go through the update together. We'll determine whether it's a boom or a bust, and we'll just have some fun. Looking forward to that stream. Hope to see you guys.
100%. I can say it is a bust, man. It is absolutely like this 30% update. It is a bust.
There. But I just wanted to
Welcome
to have that discussion about content creators. It's very easy as a viewer to criticize.
Avok is saying, I think a lot of people who are content creators for mobile games could learn a lot from people who do content creating for the console and PC games. Absolutely, Avok. That's one of the things that I rarely actually try to find inspiration in the Diablo Immortal community content, because I know it's going to be the same content as or I'm already putting, or it's going to be very similar. I know it's going to be a guide or something like that. Usually the best way to do it, if you have a channel, it is 100% to branch out. One of the biggest inspirations why I started doing or trying to invite people and doing the podcast is because I used to follow Rex and the Diablo 4 community, which I played for many hours before I started to play Diablo Immortal, and it used to have like these 3-4 content creators coming on the stream discussing the patch for like 1-2 hours. I always watched all of that because it's content that I personally like, but there's also like many other things. However, this also being said, PC games, they have a different audience, and they also have the games are slightly different, right? Like you don't really spend a lot of time, or like 50% of your time, discussing like free-to-play player versus pay-to-win players. So there's definitely some constraints that comes like with the creating content for a mobile game, which sometimes is limiting, but it shouldn't be like an excuse for you to not to try harder.
Other creators. It's very easy as a creator to criticize other creators and say, oh, that person does this poorly, and to sometimes not even like other creators because of some type of content, right? Like that's all human nature. But you guys as viewers, you have your favorite people that you watch, that you subscribe to, and that you watch regularly, and then you have people that you avoid at all costs because you don't like their content, and then you have some in the middle where you watch some of their stuff when something is interesting to you, right? That's just what it is natural to be a viewer. But jumping back to what I was touching on before, over my years on YouTube, I've done a lot of coaching for content creators, teaching content creators how to be successful on the platform, how to use social media to basically build a career. At the end of the day, I used to be a teacher. I was a teacher for 15 years, a health and phys ed teacher. And I left that world to do content creation full time because I was being more successful doing YouTube, and I had more of a passion to do YouTube. So that's why I'm here where I am. So over my, I've been full time now for 5 years. I've probably been giving like some real advice, even doing like courses for people and things like that for probably 6 years now on how to be successful on YouTube. And by the way, there's definitely more than one way. There's not just one method to be successful.
Yeah, and I'm definitely part of one of those people that Echo helped. I have like, once in a while, me and Echo, we get on the call. I think we get along very well, but definitely I always looked up in terms of like, man, this guy has been doing this for so many years. I only started a few months ago. You will be naive of me to not listen to what someone that has been doing this for such a long time. It will just be naive of me, and because of that, I always take the feedback that Echo gives me, or whenever it comes like with a certain idea, we have like always the good discussions. And I'm certain that he also does this for many other creators. And I always think that, personally right now, after 9 months, I am really happy to be in a place that I don't have to do as much design work. I can just like focus on creating the content. I am doing this now full time, which it is kind of unreal You know, like I work super hard on the streams, on the videos, everything to try to bring as much value to you guys. And you guys definitely help me out. You know, you guys watch the videos, you guys join the memberships, you guys, you know, donate and support the stream. And it got me to a place that now I can, you know, finally just try to dedicate myself to just do this full time and all the other things, you know, like for example, the one-on-one coaching that I do to a few players and all of these things, because it really helps, you know. At the end of the day, this is, like Echo said very well, it is still a career path. It is a modern and very different career path, but, you know, it is risky. It is maybe naive to even think that I can make it, you know, to branch out maybe even one day outside of Diablo Immortal. But I don't, like, the thing is, like, I don't feel like I need to do that, because as long as I still enjoy the game, I will be fine. The problem is, like, if one day I just get bored of the game, right? Like, that's always the transition between games. It is always very harsh for content creators. And that's also one of the reasons why I stream and I try to put my personality out there. I try to put, like, my opinions and how I feel, how I think, because, you know, that will dissect which one it is my viewer, which one it is not, which is the person that's gonna like me for, you know, just being here. Like, now we're live, right? And you guys are listening to what I'm saying, and you know, most people are not. So it means, like, if you're here, you probably agree with me, or you like the content, or get entertainment value. And I feel like if in the future I try to translate and play another game, maybe a few of you will stay with me because of the personality and all these things.
And out of all of that time, I've probably had 200, 300 content creators. No, I shouldn't say that. 300 people come to me for guidance, for help. And most of them, 99% of those people, never actually get to the point of being a full-time content creator. Mostly because of the excessive amount of work that goes into it, and the massive amount of time that it takes to actually get to a point of success. A little point here. My first year on YouTube, I uploaded 2 videos a day, every single day. So we're talking about nearly 700 videos I uploaded in 1 year on YouTube.
Right now, guys, after 9 months, I have 500 videos. That's insane. But also because it's counting the streams, right? So the streams, after I drop the live, they turn into the VODs. But right now, absolutely, I don't know, because I don't know if someone streams and creates more content than me, but I will say that probably I am the content creator that creates more contents in terms of time and duration for this game right now. If I sum up all my videos with all my dedicated time that I stream on this game, I think right now I probably am the content creator that outputs more Diablo Immortal content.
Now, this was also 9 years ago. It was for Clash of Clans, not for Diablo Immortal. So there were a lot of different factors there. But I made $175 in my first year on YouTube. I probably would put in, basically every night, I was up from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., 4 hours every night, recording these videos and uploading these videos. And that's the amount of money that I made in my first year. Most people will not sit through that pain to try to be successful. Now, keep in mind, I was still teaching full time. I had 2 kids and a wife at that time. So most people are not going to sit through it. The reason why I was able to is, 1, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. I had a vision and a belief that I could be successful doing it. And 2, I am determined and hard-headed as hell. And if I put my mind to something, I will do it. But most people will realize, I could go get a part-time job working at fast food and make, 100, 200, 300 times more than I'm making doing this on YouTube. So I have seen very few people see success. And probably you as a viewer, you've seen people go and play, content creators from all different games come and then suddenly vanish. They stop doing it because they're not getting that success, or because they just decide that it's not for them. They don't want to put out regular content, and they just vanish and they stop creating. Because all content creators come to the scene, we'll use Diablo
And I will also say that one thing that is one of the reasons why all of a sudden you see a creator that you like, a creator by me was super consistent. It is because maybe it gets to a point that it just burns out. You know, it just burns out of the game, or because there's a lot of like mental tool that as a creator you kind of have like to carry with you, which is like the audience expectation that you're gonna upload every day, or that you're gonna appear on the stream every day, and a lot of pressure. It is self pressure that you put on yourself, and it is always an ongoing thing. Like you just do a video, you already think on the next one, and you finish that one, you already think on the next one. And a lot of people that just realize, maybe this long term can actually have some benefits, but it takes a long time. And it took me like 9 months to actually start making a proper decent amount of money for me to actually dedicate my time to do this as a full-time. Meanwhile, I know that if I went and I sent like my CV to a technology company, and I tried to apply for a job, or I just kept like doing my freelancer job, maybe I will probably do more money doing that than YouTube. However, I will prefer to do this because I just find like more enjoyable. It is definitely risky, but it is high risk, high reward. But the major issue with YouTube is the uncertainty, because your channel can be growing and one day to the other you can be banned, just like that. You're banned, or you get demonetized out of YouTube, or your channel, your audience turns on you because you fucked up on something. There are so many risky things, but on the other side, I gladly, I have a supportive wife, I have a supportive family, and they told me like, if this doesn't work, you can always go back to try to do what you were doing. So take the leap, and I did, and I'm actually excited for that. And I'm excited, like after 9 years, I see someone that is still doing this full time, and I can see a future. When I look at these people that are doing this for so many years, it makes me believe that I can still do it.
Mortal is an example, and they have a good 10 to 15 videos in mind. Oh, I could do a tier list of the best classes. I could do a beginner's guide for the best way to start in Diablo Immortal. I could do a build guide for the build that I'm currently playing. Yes, everyone can do those, but what happens when those 15 videos are done?
Mm-hmm.
Then what do?
Yeah.
You need to be able to get creative on a regular basis. Now, for me, I put out videos almost every day of the week, which means every day I need to have news to talk about, an update to talk about, some type of gameplay to do inside of the game, or bring it back to a personal level to bring you some type of a personal video. This one is one of those more personal type of videos.
Personally, I like also these videos from time to time. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. Usually, people do not do this much because or they don't want to be vulnerable, or they don't want to express their opinion, or because it's just gonna perform worse than if you put it the same old content. But I feel like videos like these, as a longtime follower from Echo, I kind of like it. And I think like if you're a true fan of Echo, you will also sit and listen to this, and you're gonna enjoy it.
Most
but it's not for everyone.
Are not able to or don't want to do that. So if you see a tier list on content creators, whether you agree with it or not, based off of the rankings, it's all subjective, right? It's all based on someone's opinion. Exactly. Someone could rate me as an S tier content creator, and someone can rate me as an F tier content creator. The same way as these cosmetics inside of the game. Some people love a certain cosmetic while others hate it, and that's the beauty of all of this. There are a number of content creators, and we are all different. Not one of us is the same. And you could watch the ones that you vibe with, or that you enjoy, or that you get the most value from yourself personally as a viewer. So I don't need to watch a tier list about content creators. I don't need to compare myself to other creators. And I actually don't think that creators should compare themselves to one another. I think that we should do what we enjoy. And at the end of the day, what I want to do on all of my YouTube.
And I actually want to add that, whenever I did a tier list, that probably was my lack of judgment to realize that because like, I was so like, okay, I'm gonna try to make it in a way that is gonna be helpful. But my misjudgment was like, okay, if you're gonna put like creators in different tiers or next to each other or whatever it is, you are absolutely comparing them. And this is like also one of the reasons why I then later on I removed it, and I started realizing that that was not my point. That was not my point. Obviously, even though I did it as a viewer, I did it with good intentions. I gave some constructive feedback. At the end of the day, preference will be preference, and what I like or dislike, I said that in the beginning, or like before doing that, but you may like me, you may dislike me, you may like other creators. It is all subjective, Opinion is like an ass. Everyone has their own. Exactly. But that also applies to any other tier list or any other thing, right?
YouTube channels, because I have 4 of them, is I want to do what I enjoy. I want to put out content that I enjoy making and make the face of my YouTube channel, which is basically like the whole aura of everything that I bring in my videos, something that is enjoyable for me. And if it's enjoyable for me, it's something that I can maintain. And that's the biggest key. If you can maintain consistency across your content and you don't quit, eventually you improve over time, you build a small audience, and you start to grow. It's really that simple. But the reason that this whole topic came to be was just because of the tier lists and content creator discussions and things like that. I wanted to go out and give credit to all of the content creators in this Diablo Immortal niche. We're sitting with a game right here where there is no opportunity for us as content creators to blow up.
Yeah.
This is it, man. My channel...
I mean, I will say depends on your perspective, right? So if you are on 0 and you get 1,000 or 10,000 subs, that's pretty good, right? But you have to understand from the perspective that he's talking. He's talking for blowing up for Echo. It is way different from a blowing up perspective of someone is just starting YouTube. So for example, when I first started, I created one video and that video blow up, right? I had like on the first days, I had like 15,000 views. I had like 1,000 subs in like 3-4 days. It was crazy. But you cannot compare like 10,000 views in a niche game to if I did or I replicated a video about, I don't say like maybe even League of Legends or maybe even, I don't know, Diablo 4 or something that Minecraft, let's imagine that. Something that the blowing up ceiling, we're not talking about hitting like 20 or 30,000 views. That's like the ceiling of blowing up here. We're talking about like hundreds of thousands of views. We're talking about like millions of views because that's the ceiling, and that's like the problem with it. Like you will never covering Diablo Immortal will be able to reach to I don't know, right now in this time I will highly doubt that you're gonna reach to 200,000 views, 500,000, 1 million, just because there is just not enough people in the community. And there's also one of the downsides of like being a mobile game. It is a downside of the mobile game having 3 years, bad stigma, blah blah blah. We know all these things, yet if you are starting YouTube, it is still a good opportunity. It is a small pond where if you have a good idea, you can actually put a video that you can have a breakthrough, while maybe you are still spamming, videos for the League of Legends where like, it's like an ocean, and you're just like these little fish that nobody cares or nobody worries about. It is very hard to break through because of that. So I would say like, mobile games or games with a smaller niche community can actually be better to just have your first breakthrough. But I will say that imagine these as like some stairs. I feel like eventually I'll hit the ceiling, and if I want to go for my second breakthrough, probably I'll have to play a game or I have to cover content that has higher audience, and then I'm gonna want to maybe after that having my third, and that's how the creators they keep. I see content creation and it's like seasons. There's season 1, there's season 2, there's season 3, and you just keep evolving. And I feel like that's all it's gonna be, man.
It's old. It's been around for 5 years now. And, you know, we're just about at 50,000 subscribers. By the way, if you haven't subscribed, yeah, let's get to 50K because that's a pretty cool milestone. But we're just about at 50,000 subscribers.
That's impressive, man. Man, I don't listen. How many? Like, it's been taking him like what 6 years in Diablo Immortal to reach to 50,000. I feel like in the start maybe it was easier to get like that inflection of viewers, but now it's pretty hard, man. Create 20 billion YouTube accounts, subscribe to yourself, and watch yourself. I don't know if that's a good idea. Look how much content and Unity this tier list generated. Imagine what next we're gonna do. I mean, I know, man. I know.
Let's think about our good friend Darth Microtransaction. Man, one of my favorite dudes I've ever met on YouTube. And I have met him multiple times in real life as well. Amazing dude. I love the guy. He left Diablo Immortal. He saw Diablo 4 incoming and he left. He started a new YouTube channel and blew the hell up. Congratulations to him. Yeah. Most people, almost all people that left Diablo Immortal 2 years ago when Diablo 4 came out, left to play Diablo 4 and failed. And those are people that were content creators for Diablo Immortal, moved on to something else and then failed and then just kind of quit it, which is crazy. But DMs.
And that's like the risk. This is the risk where I was talking about. It's very scary that just the move from this game to another game. And also another thing I want to add that is important is like, I don't want, going back like to doing the streams and trying to do like this more personal content in a way, giving my opinion. It's because I don't want my life to be dictated on the success of the game in the long term. Obviously for me, the better the Diablo Immortal does, the better it's gonna be, because you know my channel right now, it is one of like the bigger ones when it comes like to, you know, English content. Same for Echo, same for Maul, same for Audit and all these other creators. So that's like literally a part that I kind of want to, you know when you have the baby that comes out and they cut like the cord. That's what I want to do. I want to reach one day to a place that we cut the cord, and we are my success or this community success of the channel, it is not attached to any game. Obviously, it is super hard, like Echo is saying, and only a few people can actually do that.
Saw an opportunity, and he went along with it. An opportunity that would allow him to blow up, to build a channel that had a much higher ceiling than what we have right here with Diablo Immortal. None of us content creators covering Diablo Immortal are going to blow up and be the next Darth Microtransaction. Not on this game. We would have to move to something with a much higher ceiling, like Diablo 4 was for him. So for him, I know a lot of you felt abandoned because one of your favorite creators, DM, because everyone loves DM, he moved on to something different. I get it. I felt that way about other creators when I was a viewer on other games. You know, you were like, why did they go to that game? And then you kind of, you know, if you don't play that game, you kind of teeter off. Yeah. You don't really watch them anymore. Well, I think
you don't watch them anymore, especially when the content, it is completely based on the game and not on the personality, right? Because imagine if I only do guides and it's like only guides, only builds, and no personality content, no diversity of content. If I move to another game, why would you watch me doing other guides for other games that you don't really play? It doesn't make any sense. Even if you like my videos, it just doesn't add up. Those guides are very specific for an in-game audience, and it just doesn't translate to a more broad audience. And yes, you absolutely feel abandoned because this creator that used to create guides for your game and you like to watch now is playing a different thing.
I think it was the right choice for him.
David is saying that's why doing different types of content is good. If we stay safe and just game focus, it's not an audience. Yeah, absolutely. You were 100% right. DM left for Diablo 4, and I was like, no. And then he left Diablo 4, and he's now in Path of Exile, right? So, and probably, I don't know if in the future he's going to leave Path of Exile and is going to go to something else, but I feel like I watched DM. I met DM before I even started. Like that DM is not microtransaction. He used to be a big YouTuber here for the Diablo Immortal, and then he went to Diablo 4, and now he's in Path of Exile. And I still follow. I don't play Path of Exile, and if I go here, he's still here on my subscription. I'm pretty sure. Oh, there it is. Look at here. Direct microtransaction. I don't watch all these videos, but the other day I watched this one. I feel like I still build up like an emotional I saw this one, an emotional attachment to the creator, because I felt like DM provides more than just content around the guides, and I liked it.
Him, it was a life-changing choice, and it put him personally in a better spot. So every content creator, like, why do I bring up DM in this? Every content creator has their goals, has their plans, has things that they want to achieve. And we need to take a second and appreciate all of the content creators that are bringing you content for Diablo Immortal. At the end of the day, Diablo Immortal, Blizzard, NetEase, they don't pay us. There's no salary with this. There's nothing. We get cosmetics. They gift us with
don't. But it's true. It's true. I mean, the cosmetics are nice, but personally, for me, it doesn't really change the needle. I feel like the biggest value that I feel like I get, it is literally networking and maybe like having information beforehand, or being part of like the private server. That's it. I feel like if I have to get the value out of it, it is from that. And then of course, like, you have the status, but like, what is it really, the status nowadays of Diablo Immortal? I feel like it is so spread out, right? Like, and also I don't think it is probably as hard as it was in the beginning, right? So I feel like if you start a channel, I would say, like, for example, Lawrence is a perfect example as someone that should be absolutely a Diablo partner. I already recommended him, and I don't know if they're gonna get him or not, but I think he has the quality of being.
Cosmetics, which is absolutely awesome. I would not buy these cosmetics, most likely. But I would not buy the cosmetics on a regular basis. So I love that Blizzard gives them so I can feature them, I can wear them, and I can enjoy them in the game. But they don't give us a paycheck. It doesn't pay my mortgage, doesn't feed my kids, right? We're doing this because we want to give back to the community. We want to build our own little business YouTube channel off of it. And we make our money from YouTube revenue, from ads that show on videos on YouTube. And then if you get big enough, you could start getting sponsored opportunities on your videos.
I'm still not there, guys. That's like my next step. It is, how can I get into this sponsorship shit, man? Like, I don't know. Maybe I need to... I already spoke with Echo. He actually gave me a cool idea. It was like, oh, why don't you start featuring on your channel? Maybe play a game for like 2-3 hours and just make like a day one first impressions, or give your feedback. So maybe whenever other sponsors, or like these content agencies that they sell like this sponsorship, go to your channel and they see something else more than just Diablo Immortal all the time. And I never thought about that, and this is like the benefit whenever you're talking with other creators that are ahead of you. Absolutely, you will get a lot, because if they are ahead of you, it means like they are doing something good, or they did something good. So you should, in my opinion, take that, that feedback or that opinion with care, think about it, reflect on it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe he's right. Maybe I actually should do that.
So this is a big shout out to all the content creators, day in, day out, putting out content for Diablo Immortal, supporting this community. I appreciate everyone here that is building Diablo Immortal to be a better game with a bigger community of people playing it. This is all positive. We're all on the same team, whether we make content you like or we don't. So with that said, I'm going to go live with it at noon. We're going to play some Diablo Immortal. We're going to bring some positivity, take a look at this update, and realize, well, is it good?
and realize that it sucks. Great video from Echo. I'm going to link it here. Go there, drop him a like and subscribe if you still didn't. Always, you know, a pleasure to hear